What's going on, guys? This is Damien from the Lookout and welcome to our PPG NA Regionals Top 16 breakdowns, deck lists included. Yes, we finally casted NA Regionals. This is amazing. Huge shout out to PPG for giving us this opportunity. And guys, in this video I will show you all of the top 16 deck lists and we'll go over the breakdown. But before we begin this video, huge shout out to the Coffee Club, our lovely patrons. These are our $2 and up patrons. They buy us coffee, they keep this machine going, and eventually, very soon, we will replace the broken table. If you wish to join the Coffee Club, link to our Patreon is in the description below. And I think that's about everything. Roll the video! As with all of our videos, let's start with the breakdown, or in this case, general info. This was a live regional event organized by PPG. Huge shout out to PPG for giving us this opportunity. Guys, the event was amazing. It went super smooth. There were 88 players in total. Best of one pre-side. No top cut, just best of one pre-side. And before we jump into the breakdown, huge shout out to everyone who had participated at the event. From players to judges, TOs, everyone who came to watch us do the live stream. It was amazing. Huge shout out to everyone. Now, let's check out the top 16. Here it is, guys, the top 16. 88 players. Look at this beautiful chart. Beautiful chart for the top 16. This is some amazing diversity here. Let's go over it. First place, Legends with Go Bros. Go Bros once again showing strong. That deck is phenomenal. It's at least as good as Gohan. At least as good as Gohan. I love this. I love this deck. It's just gonna keep on being a better and better deck because it has such a small engine and it's just gonna keep getting generic green stuff. It's gonna be awesome. Second place, Gogeta BT22. Yes, Gogeta BT22 once again. Just a bit shy from the first place. Just a bit shy from the first place, guys. Phenomenal placing. Definitely phenomenal placing. We are seeing Gogeta climb more and more. It started this competitive season somewhere at the bottom of the top 16. And now it's climbing higher and higher. And you will see when we go to the deck list, there is some diversity here. Players are still trying to figure out Gogeta. But second place, congratulations. Third place, Symbiote with Sin Zeno. Sin Zeno, third place. This is crazy. This is crazy. I love Sin Zeno. I love Sin Zeno. I was so sad when it didn't get anniversary book support. But Symbiote showing up and just wrecking people with Sin Zeno, that was phenomenal to see. Fourth place, Green Gohan. Green Gohan once again in the top 16, in the top 8. One of the best decks in the game at the moment. Reaching fourth place, congrats. Then fifth place, another Gogeta. Another Gogeta, so two Gogetas in top 8. That's better than in most events, I'll be honest. Then we have sixth place, Gogeta Zeno. Gogeta Zeno, 6th place. When was the last time you saw Gogeta Zeno and we had this deck on stream? This deck is incredible. This deck is so aggressive. So aggressive. If it weren't for the opponent having the yellow Vegeta Unison, Gogeta would have won. Just won completely. Phenomenal deck. Congratulations. 7th place, SSG Trunks. So we have like 3 black decks in the top 8. Wow, okay, yeah, black is slowly but surely getting up there with the better colors. And then 8th place, another green Gohan. So yeah, Gohan being highly represented in the top 16. No wonder, one of the best decks in the game. Then we're moving on to 9th place, another Gogeta. 10th place, Pen Reboot. Pen Reboot continues to hard carry red. Continues hard carrying red, and this deck is among the best ones in the game, I believe. Like, in my opinion, it's among, yellow decks and Gohan Go Bros. Pen is just wow. Then 11th place, Fu. We have Fu in top 16. That's so cool to see. That's so cool to see, guys. I cannot wait to show you the deck list. Major congrats. 12th place Cooler Mill. I suspect that we will be seeing a lot of this one in the near future, but yeah, this was without anniversary box support, by the way. So 12th place Cooler Mill, 13th place Android 21, just a single Android 21 this time around. Just one. That's very uncharacteristic for NA region. Then 14th place Dr. Hedo. I mean, like, this is so cool. Dr. Hedo getting 14th place, major congrats. Then, like, out of nowhere, 15th place Broly Swap. I mean, like, this event, guys, this is, wow, this is so surprising in the best possible way. Sin Xeno, Gogeta Xeno, Broly Swap. Wow, okay, yes, I'm excited for this. I'm very excited for this, guys. Then finally, 16th place, another Fu. Another Fu taking the top 16. Congrats to everyone who made it to the top 16. Let's check out the decks. Before we check out the decks, let me just show you our color breakdown. So, 5 black decks in top 16. 5. 4 red decks. 4 blue decks. And 3 green decks. Not a single yellow deck made it to the top 16 this time around, which is very interesting, because we know from other regions, especially in Europe, yellow is one of the best colors in the game. Yellow is phenomenal. Here we didn't get a single yellow deck, which is pretty interesting, but it's cool to see black and red, which were the worst decks in the worst colors in the last meta game, climbing up in the top 16. Now let's check out the deck lists. Starting off with Legends, go bros! Congratulations, Legends, for winning. This is one of my personal favorite decks, and we have some cool tech here. We have a very, very cool card in this deck, and that is this one, King Cold Supreme Ruler. Get used to seeing this one. I think that this one is gonna be, you know, like the topo of green now, because it says permanent counter-attack, negate the attack and play it. And when you play it, your opponent needs to discard 1 card whenever they want to swing at your leaders. But it has a permanent which reduces his cost, his specified cost 1, for each extra card in your battle area. If you're playing a deck which plays a field card, like Go Bros, that's 1, and the extra cards also count. So you play this one, that's 2, and then for the rest of the game, this is a 1 energy floodgate, which can just stop your opponent dead in his tracks. Just like pay 1, stop attacking. Phenomenal card, phenomenal tech choice. There is also Paragus the Sacrifice, so you can use your leader's ability to bring one of these small guys, draw a card from pod, and because they're useless since that point on, you can just use Paragus, get rid of them, draw another card. And 3 copies of red, it's pulling ahead. This card is just amazing and destruction card. It's basically the mains and answer, because when you swing, your opponent is either going to try to outcombo you, which is gonna cost them like 2 cards sometimes, or they're gonna waste 1 card on a counter to stop it, or they're gonna take damage, waste a life, and waste a card from their hand and something from the field. So this card is really, really good. It really puts your opponent in a weird position. And then we just have the side deck, which includes one of the better mirror match options, Piccolo Jr. Arena Wrecker. So first I wasn't sure what this one is for, but I'm pretty certain that this one is for Go Bros mirror matches. It's an old promo card. It has a permanent. If your opponent has a field, it costs 1. And when you play it, you choose 1 field card in a battle area with a cost of 1 or less, and you KO it. And if you do, he gets plus 5k. So when you're facing Go Bros, they're usually gonna have a healing pod, like immediately, turn 1. That's the first thing that you want to get out. They're probably gonna either charge the rest of them in their hand or just mulligan them away. And then you just hard mulligan for Piccolo, pay 1, destroy it. You stop their draw engine. phenomenal card. Then moving to second place, Robert's Gogeta. Okay, let's take a look at the second place Gogeta. First we have the SCR. SCR is phenomenal, really hard carries the deck. This is like the standard package, plus he's also running one of the promo Vekus. Then 4 copies of Zamasu the Eliminator, 1 Sacred Disbelief. An interesting tech choice. It's a super combo, and when you super combo with it, when you combo with it basically from your hand, you get to switch one of your opponent's leaders or battle cards to rest mode. Pretty good super combo, not gonna lie. Can catch your opponent off guard. Actually running both Baby and Goku Black counters, which is interesting. Okay, then we're moving to 4D Magic, Defending Friends, Nimbus, Release Ball. So all of your Floodgate, Stop the Attack cards. 2 copies of Pilaf Shu and Mai. This one is, well, like Peter Dan says, not completely sold on this one. Like, it can help you by taking away a keyword, but it's usually pay 1, you don't stop the attack. Take away a keyword skill and then draw 1 and then just combo it away. 2 copies of Trunks, because Trunks is super easy to get out. It's super easy when you get out your boss monster, just play him. 2 copies of Saiyan Instincts for extra draw, and 2 copies of Power Reclaimed. For the Z deck, it's pretty standard one, and this is the side deck. This card, yeah, this card helps a lot. Plus Icelands. I mean, if you're playing, let's say, against Gohan or something, or Gogeta Xeno, for example, or black, or any other black deck, just play this, shut them down completely. Mutaito also here, because you gotta respect the Gohan. Now let's move on to other decks. Sin Xeno, Symbiotes Sin Xeno. We're in talks for a deck profile, so maybe that happens on the channel. We'll see. I'm not gonna go over the entire thing just in case, but basically it's a very old deck that's like set 14 plus set 15. It's a black mill deck, which plays extra cards. The only thing that's really standing out in this one is this. 4 copies of Wicked Strike Sin Shenron. It's a weird card. It's basically, I mean, it's a weird choice. It's basically auto is the Shadow Dragon skill, and then activate main/battle once per turn. He just has Spirit Boost 1, which allows you to take a marker from your Tova to play, to activate main/battle of an extra card for free. That's it. It's just an extra way to get battle cards going. So I'm not sure what's up with this one and why is it on 4 copies. We will find out soon enough. And then there's like 4 copies of Negative Energy Charge, which helps you with your SCR. And yeah, this is the side deck. Moving on to 4th place, Robert's Green Gohan. Yeah, this is a pretty standard build, though there are some things standing out, like okay, this is definitely not standard. 4 copies of King Vegeta Invasions Command. Yeah, okay, cool. +1 removes a barrier guy. Choose up to one of your opponent's 1 card in your opponent's hand or one of their battle cards, ignoring barrier, and then just send it to drop. It's just extra barrier removal. 4 copies of Decisions Made, 3 copies of Charismatic Villain, plus this Unison. So you're really going hard into removing things from the board. Then Wicked Saiyans being the SCR of choice for this deck, and 2 copies of Bulma, which is also something that you don't usually see in most of these builds. Plus main decking 2 copies of Hunt of the Demon God, which is Green's answer to the boss monster. And the rest is 4 copies of Arena Wrecker. Really hating on those Go Bros. Maybe it's also for a different deck, but no other deck than Go Bros really comes to my mind, because other field cards are far more expensive and or have barrier. Okay, that's an interesting choice. Congratulations, Robert. Then 5th place, Sublet with Gogeta. Another Gogeta deck. Going through it very fast. So this one doesn't. Oh, it has Wekus, but like it plays only 2 copies, leaning in more for the boss monster, main decking 1 Frost's Deadly Poison, and also running 2 copies of Steadfast. Steadfast is also amazing because of the Z extra card. You basically have a guaranteed reduction for this one. You reduce its cost for each extra card in battle area, energy, and drop. This one can get super cheap, super fast. 2 copies of Kefla, and also 1 turning the tide just in case that the game goes on long enough. And then we have the side deck, which is okay, yeah, sure. Brawly Rampaging Horror. And yeah, here we have the rest. Then we are moving to 6th place. Gogeta Xeno, Knowles Gogeta Xeno, highly requested deck. What does it do? Well, it just beats you senseless. What do we have here? My knowledge of Gogeta Xeno is a bit lacking. It has been forever since we saw this deck. This deck really needs some extra support. Pike 1 is here as Pike 1 Unison. He can buff cards by +10. So like he buffs this guy, for example. So now he's like 15, or he buffs something else by +10. That's a pretty good buff. But its energy cost of 1. So you basically use your True Fighting Spirit, you can buff him. You also have the Vegeta True Fighting Spirit to buff. And then you have 4 copies of this one, which is crazy expensive in some regions right now. Your fusion targets are Fearless Fusion and Wantworthing the Dark Empire and Martial Melee. And you're also running 4 copies of this Cumber, which is just 1 energy, barrier removal, and black. And that's it. And of course the SCR of choice, Evil Saiyan. And here we have the Z deck running 2 copies of the very annoying Hatch. A very annoying Hatch. And 1 copy of Kraken Spacetime. Alright, so we're just gonna go very fast through the rest of them because I don't want this video to last forever. 7th place, Gavin's SSG Trunks. While building it, there was only 1 card that really stood out to me as like, what's happening here? Is this Gohan's Apocalyptic Future. Gohanks. Yeah, okay. Okay, so you basically send 1 Gohan, Son Gohan Xeno and Trunks Xeno from your drop to the warp to play it. He's a 15k unique, and then activate main for 1 energy if your leader is a Black Saiyan, and you place this card at the bottom of your deck from your drop area. If you don't have a Unison in play, play 1 Black Unison with no specified cost and 15k from your drop with a mark. Run it, and you can play Unison cards for the turn. It's a way to recover your Unison, basically, because you can play it for 0, and then for 1 energy you just bottom deck him and bring your Unison back. It's a very, very cool text choice. And also 4 copies of this Cumber. This Cumber is starting to show himself as one of the best cards in BT22. And yeah, this is the side deck. Then moving on, 8th place, Vincenzo's Green Gohan. 4 copies of King Gold. 4 copies of King Gold. So you use Hyperbolic Time Chamber, you use Emotions Delivered Z card, and then this is a 1-cost Floodgate, which prevents your opponent from attacking your leader. And then if you go a bit deeper into hand destruction, which we have here, we have Kaioken, we have Reddit, we have 3 copies of the Monkey. You can lower your opponent's hand to low enough that they're like, okay, I'm not gonna swing at your leader. You don't care if they swing at some of your battle cards, you just want to stop them from hitting your leader. And he's also running 3 copies of the newest Gobros boss monster, which you can just play with your Emotions Delivered to make him, and this Goku can just make him gigantic. It's almost like a different SCR in the deck. And yeah, that's it. The SCR of choice is, of course, Beast Resolution. Now moving on to the 9th place, Francis's Gogeta. So this one is running a temporary truce along with Kefla. So it's a bit harder, not harder, it's a bit more multicolored than some versions, because there's also 4 copies of Zamasu here, 2 copies of Oob, a bit falling off in favor when it comes to Gogeta decks, but it's still cool to see it. Board wipe is always welcomed. And here we have the side deck. Okay, then we have Josh's Pen. Pen, one of the best decks right now. Like, definitely one of the best decks. Very, very standard list, except for a couple of things. Hidden Ambitions, not really one of the most played cards. So it's cool to see this one, just to counter a counter, a free negate. 1 cost, free negate. And 2 copies of Flight of the Grand Eagle. Choose up to one of your leader cards or battle cards, and it gets plus 100 power for the battle. So if you really need something to survive, 1 energy, there you go. Also running Baby Unison, which is cool to see. And of course, SS4 Vegito, SCR of choice. Also running Nepas in the side. That's cool to see. 11th place, Isaiah Superfu. So I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing. This is cool. This is very cool to see Superfu in the top 16. 4 copies of Mehi just to help with overlording. 1 copy of this Vegito. We don't really see this one. There was a lot of hype for this one, but never really did much. Of course, you're playing Cumbers, and your SCR is the Golden Ape Cumber. And running 3 copies of the one which has more protection, and just 1 copy of the one with less protection. I like this. I would also definitely lean more into playing this one than this one. Though it depends, you know, if I'm expecting a lot of green, maybe try with this one. We'll see. We'll see. And Mehi. 3 copies of Mehi. Now we have 12th place, Patrick Schooler Mill. It's Schooler Mill. Like, that's it. It's Schooler Mill, guys. Running Baby Unisons instead of Girens, which is interesting. With Baby, it's harder to remove, but you lose on the mill, because Jiren just nags something and you force your opponent to mill. But going in hard with 4 copies of Cellmax, Cellmax is phenomenal. If it's removed in any way from the battle area, just kill something by minusing it, so your opponent also mills. And this guy, not sure what's happening here. Okay, then 13th place, Corey's Android 21. It's Android 21. Like, that's it. It's Android 21, guys. Running Hit Battlefield Manipulator, you get a bit more draw power. Running Android 8 as the super combo, 2 copies of Oob, and then the rest is standard. And yeah, here is the sideboard. I'm rushing a bit towards the end because this section has already been lasting for like 16 minutes. Dr. Hedo, 14th place, Dr. Hedo. Jacob's Dr. Hedo. Okay, yeah, sure. So running the full engine, including these 2. So Jacob, if you're watching this video, I would like to know how useful was this card. How useful was it? Because I'm not super sold on this one, but I'm seeing it in a lot of lists. So I would like to know how good is Gamma 2. 2 copies of Cell Max, and then the rest is just like Beerus as a super combo, defeating the demon, of course. Also 2 copies of One Hit Wonder, because why not? You are nagging a lot in this deck anyway. Hidden Ambitions to help you swing through counter a counter. 4 copies of Testing the Opposition, the only extra card in the deck. And then it's Vegeta and Pan. And here we have a couple of Unisons also for slower matchups. Vegeta Unison of Might. Then we also have Sin. so that your cards can attack your opponents in active mode, and you can also remove things. But you can also look at their hand and then just take away a floodgate, which is great. So congratulations. Then second to last, 15th place, Kyle's Broly Swap. I don't know much about Broly Swap, but here is the list, guys. So what caught me is this one, Kale, Savage Berserker. When you play it looks at top 3 for a Saiyan, any Saiyan, and then you add it to your hand, and then you bottom deck the rest. So just an additional help when it comes to searching cards, because usually I have seen Piccolo Jr. Unison, the Giant Force one, but it's cool to see this one. And then we have a bunch of different Brolys, also 2 copies of Man on a Mission as the Overrealm of choice, and that's, I think, about it. Like I said, I don't know much about Broly Swap. No Z deck, and here is the sideboard and the last deck. Super Fu Stevens, Super Fu, another Fu makes it to the top 16. There are some differences from Azayek's list, and that is 4 copies of Tag Team Son Gohan. Blocker, you can only have 1, and when a battle card is removed from your battle area by a skill, you can play this one for free from hand. And 2 copies of Emperor's Attendant. During your opponent's turn, when you combo with this card, choose up to 1 of your battle cards and switch to active mode. I guess this? I'm not sure what's happening here. So Steven, if you're watching this video, if you can please enlighten us in the comments, because I'm not best with Fu, I'm just learning it. So what's happening with the Zarbon Spice? Anyways, guys, those were the top 16 deck lists. That's it for the video. Let me know in the comments below, what's your opinion on the NA breakdown? This breakdown is crazy. Like, the diversity at this event was phenomenal to see. It was really phenomenal to see, especially a couple of these blasts from the past with like Sin Zeno, Gogeta Zeno, and Broly Swap. Like, what? And Fu getting into the top 16, this breakdown was just beautiful. This breakdown was beautiful, if you ask me. But let me know your opinions. Starting this weekend, we will have the first anniversary box legal event, and then we're entering the anniversary box legal meta, and we're gonna see what happens then. Anyways, guys, let me know your opinions in the comments below. I read all of your comments. I try to respond to everything. I love our little community. And while you're here, don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons. We are on our way to 4,000 subs, and when we reach that mark, I'm gonna give away a booster box. This has been Damien from The Lookout, and I'll see all of you in the next video.